You ever check your bank account and think, wait, how did I just spend $500 without even noticing? Yeah, you're not alone. Here's the thing. Banks actually want you to feel that way. And I'm not talking about some conspiracy theory. It's a straight up business model. Look, my name's Lucas, and I spend way too much time thinking about insider banking tricks most people don't notice. If you're someone who's tired of feeling like your paycheck disappears the second it hits your account, make sure to subscribe and like this video if it helps you. Let's start with a reality check. Did you know the average American has $1,200 in credit card debt per person? And what's crazier, most of that comes from stuff they didn't even realize they were paying for. According to Experian, Americans pay $200 billion in overdraft fees every single year. Yeah, that's billion with a B. This is what most people don't realize. Banks make more money off your mistakes than they do off their interest on loans. Yes, think about it like this. If you overdraft your account by $35, the bank doesn't just get $35. They get you hooked on a habit. And once you overdraft once, the chance of doing it again in the next month jumps to 30%. That's where it gets really interesting, is they aren't just letting you make mistakes, they're engineering them. Now, maybe you're thinking, Lucas, that's just how money works. Banks gotta make money too. Sure. But here's the kicker, they make more off people who barely get by than people who have money stashed away. Why? Because rich people shop smart, automate their payments, and avoid late fees. Meanwhile, the average person, let's say you, spends hours tracking your balance, sweating over $20 here, $50 there, and every time you slip, the bank wins. Let's do some math. Imagine you overdraft $35 once a month. That's $420 a year. But wait, add in those sneaky monthly maintenance fees, $12 here, $15 there, maybe a $29 insufficient funds fee for a debit card purchase you forgot about. By the end of the year, you're giving the bank close to $1,000 for free just by existing in their system. And that's not even counting the psychological effect. Stress, anxiety, guilt. Banks don't charge for that, but they love it. Because when you're stressed, you make impulsive financial decisions, which means more fees, more overdrafts, more profit for them. Again, here's another thing most people don't notice. The way banks present offers. That free $200 when you open an account is a trap. They know most people will spend that bonus within a month. And once that money's gone, they're back in the cycle of fees, minimum balances, and credit card interest. This is where it gets really interesting. Banks don't want you to save your money. They want it circulating just enough for you to feel rich, but never enough to actually build wealth. All right, now let's break down another trick banks use that most people totally miss. You know those minimum balance requirements? Yeah, like it sounds harmless, right? Just keep $500 in your account and you're good. But here's the thing. If you dip below that even once, boom, a $25 to $35 fee hits your account. Do that a few times a year, and you're basically paying the bank to keep your own money. And this isn't just some random guess. According to the FDIC, over 50% of Americans don't meet their bank's minimum balance at least once a year. That's millions of people paying hundreds of dollars just to exist. This is what most people don't realize. The bank doesn't care about you saving, it cares about you spending in the wrong way or slipping up so they can make money off it. Here's where it gets really interesting. Banks know people forget when automatic payments hit. Think about it. If your rent, utilities, and credit cards all auto draft on the same day, even a $20 shortfall can trigger multiple overdrafts. And here's a fun stat. Banks make about $32 billion a year from overdraft fees alone, from people who simply forgot about their own bills. That's almost triple the amount Americans pay in credit card late fees. Now, maybe you're thinking, Lucas, can I just keep track of everything? Sure, in a perfect world, but here's the psychology behind it. Humans are bad at tracking multiple streams of money. When you see your balance drop and a few charges hit, your brain freaks out and you make impulsive decisions. Maybe you pull from savings, maybe you skip a payment, maybe you swipe a card to cover it. Guess who profits in all three scenarios? Yep, the bank. Let's do some real math. Imagine you make $3,500 a month. Rents $1,200, bills $800, groceries $400. That leaves $1,100. 1 month, you forget to move $50 from your checking to cover a $45 auto debit. Bam. $35 overdraft. Then your card hits $29 insufficient funds for Netflix. That's $64 in fees off one small mistake. Over a year, if this happens 3 times, that's almost $200, and that's just from being human. Here's the kicker. Banks actually design systems to encourage this. Notifications are vague, statements are confusing, fees are hidden. You think, oh, it's just $12 here or $15 there. But add it up over 12 months for millions of Americans, and suddenly you're talking billions in profit. And this is where most people get it twisted. They blame themselves, not the system rigged against them. So what do? Step 1. Automate smart. Set up alerts that aren't just your balance is low, but here's exactly what's coming out this week. Step 2. Consolidate payments when possible to avoid overlapping auto debits. Step 3. Pick accounts that don't penalize small missteps, or at least keep a tiny buffer you never touch. This is what most people don't realize. A few simple changes and you stop handing the bank free money every month. And here's the motivational nugget. You're not broke because you earn too little. You're broke because the system is stacked against the human brain. Recognize it, fight it, and suddenly your money starts working for you, not for them. All right, so now that we've covered the sneaky overdrafts and minimum balance traps, let's talk about one that hits almost everyone: credit card rewards and cashback tricks. Yeah, I know, banks make it sound like they're giving you free money. Swipe your card and earn 2% cash back. Sounds sweet, right? But here's the thing. This is one of the most subtle ways banks make you waste money while thinking you're winning. Here's what most people don't realize. When you chase cash back, you end up spending on stuff you wouldn't normally buy. Let's say your coffee costs $5 and you think, hey, 2% back? That's 10 cents. Big deal? Sure, maybe not on 1 cup, but if you buy a $50 gadget just for $1 back, that's already a net loss if you didn't actually need it. Multiply that over a year, and suddenly your free money cost you hundreds. Now maybe you're thinking, Lucas, it's still better than nothing, right? Here's where it gets really interesting. According to a 2024 bank rate study, the average American spends $350 extra per year chasing credit card rewards. That's real money leaving your wallet, all because of psychological tricks banks designed to make you swipe more. And it's not just small purchases. Banks know people are prone to bonus spending. Those points and rewards often require a minimum spend. So you find yourself buying things you don't need just to unlock a $50 bonus. That's called behavioral economics at work. Your brain sees the reward and thinks you're smart, but really you're giving the bank more in interest or debt risk. Let's do the math. If your average credit card APR is 20%, and you carry a $1,000 balance while chasing rewards, you could pay $200 in interest a year, and maybe you only earned $50 in cash back. Congratulations, you just lost $150 while thinking you were winning. This is what most people don't realize. Banks built rewards to trick you into debt while feeling smart. Here's the kicker. Credit card companies also use statements and apps to trigger emotional reactions. You see $500 earned in rewards or points expiring soon. That creates FOMO, fear of missing out. Your brain wants to redeem points, so you spend more. This is where most people get caught. The system isn't broken. It's designed to exploit natural human psychology. So what do you do? Step 1. Don't chase rewards blindly. Only use cards for things you'd already buy anyway. Step 2. Pay your balance in full every month to avoid interest killing your gains. Step 3. Track the real value of rewards versus what you spent to earn them. Even a tiny buffer in your budget helps you avoid falling into these traps. And remember, the goal isn't just to save a little, it's to recognize patterns, hack your spending psychology, and stop giving free money to the banks. Once you see it, you start making smarter moves and actually keep what's yours. Because here's the truth, they don't hate you, they just love your mistakes. And when you stop making them, your money starts working for you, not the bank. All right, so we've talked about overdrafts, minimum balances, and rewards traps, but now let's dive into another sneaky thing. Hidden bank fees nobody warns you about. You think your checking account is free? Think again. Maintenance fees, paper statement fees, ATM fees, wire transfer fees, they stack up faster than you realize. Most people shrug and think, it's just $12 here or $15 there. But here's the kicker. According to a 2025 Nerd Wallet study, Americans pay over $40 billion in hidden bank fees annually. That's not pocket change. That's serious money leaving your wallet. Because the system is designed to quietly take it, and it's not always obvious. Banks intentionally bury fees in the fine print. Look at a monthly statement. Sometimes it's 20 pages long, full of confusing terms like non-network ATM fee or excess transaction fee. Most people skip reading it, and guess what? Those small fees silently drain your account every month. Now maybe you're thinking, Lucas, $40 billion? That sounds exaggerated. It's legit. And the psychology here is crazy. Humans hate confrontation and hate asking questions, so we ignore fees, thinking it's our fault for being careless, not realizing the system is built to take advantage of human nature. Let's break it down with math. Imagine you're paying $12 in maintenance fees every month. That's $144 a year. Add a $3 ATM fee here, $5 paper statement fee there. Suddenly you're at $180 just for keeping your money in the bank. Multiply that by 10 years, that's $1,800 gone just for letting your account exist. And this is what most people don't realize. Banks love passive money extraction because it feels invisible. And here's where it gets really interesting. Some banks actually encourage behaviors that generate fees. Say you overdraw by $10, then deposit $20 the next day. You might avoid one overdraft fee, but now you've triggered another low balance fee. It's a psychological trap. They know people don't notice micro fees, so the money keeps flowing their way. So how do you fight back? All right, step 1, pick accounts with 0 or low fees. Step 2, automate your balance to always stay above any minimum. Step 3, check statements monthly, not to stress, but to catch hidden charges before they snowball. Step 4, use in-network ATMs only and go paperless if your bank charges for statements. This is what most people don't realize. Banks don't need to be evil to profit massively. They just rely on human behavior. And once you recognize the patterns, you stop giving them free money every month. Your money can finally start working for you, not the system. And here's the motivational truth. Every small fee you stop paying is money you can invest, save, or use to build real wealth. Those little $12 and $15 micro leaks add up, and when you plug them, you regain control. Because the system only works if you let it, and now you're starting to fight back. All right, now let's talk about one of the sneakiest tricks banks use: credit card interest and compounding mistakes. This one gets almost everyone, and it's subtle as heck. You think, I'll just pay the minimum this month. No big deal. Yeah, that's exactly how banks get you hooked. Here's what most people don't realize. If you carry a $2,000 balance at 20% APR and only pay the minimum, you're paying hundreds, sometimes over 1,000 in interest over a year. And here's the kicker, you're barely touching the principal. That's right. Most of your payment goes straight to the bank, not your debt. Now, maybe you're thinking, Lucas, I'm careful. I usually pay half. Cool, that helps, but the real problem is compounding. Interest isn't linear. It grows on top of what you already owe. So even small unpaid balances snowball. 1 month slips, next month slips, and suddenly that $2,000 balance feels like $2,500 or more. This is what most people don't realize. Banks love compounding mistakes because it's like free money for them. And it's not just math, it's psychology. Humans underestimate long-term debt pain. We see $50 minimum payment and think, I got this, but we ignore how much we'll pay over 12 months. Behavioral studies show that people focus on short-term relief, not long-term cost. That's exactly how banks design minimum payments, to make you feel okay while quietly draining you. Let's do some real numbers. $2,000 at 20% APR paying $50 a month. After 12 months, you've paid roughly $250 in interest alone. And maybe you think, $50 a month? That's fine. But add in other balances, late fees, and compounding, and you're bleeding $500 plus in a year just for the convenience of paying a little now. That's a lot of free money for the bank. Here's where it gets really interesting. Banks also use psychological tricks in statements. They highlight minimum due in huge bold letters, but the total owed in tiny text. Your brain latches onto the big number, thinks, I'm fine, and ignores the fact that long term you're losing hundreds or thousands. So how do you fight back? Step 1, always pay more than the minimum. Even an extra $20 makes a huge difference over time. Step 2, track interest rates on all your cards and pay down the highest APR first. Step 3, consider balance transfers to low interest accounts if you need breathing room. Step 4, treat debt repayment like a non-negotiable expense. You're literally paying yourself by avoiding interest. This is what most people don't realize. Banks aren't evil, they're just optimized to make money off human behavior. Once you understand compounding, minimum payments, and interest psychology, you can flip the script. Suddenly that $2,000 balance is manageable, and your money starts working for you, not the bank. And here's the motivational truth. Paying off debt aggressively isn't just about numbers, it's about freedom. Every extra dollar you throw at debt reduces stress, stops feeding the system, and puts control back in your hands. That's how you stop letting banks get rich off your mistakes and start building your own wealth. All right, now let's get into another sneaky move banks pull. Checking versus savings account tricks. Yeah, you think putting money in a savings account keeps it safe and growing, right? Well, not exactly. Here's the thing. Banks make savings accounts look like they're working for you with those fancy APY numbers. Earn 1.5% interest. Sounds good, but after inflation, after taxes, after fees, you're basically treading water. In 2026, inflation is expected to hover around 3 to 4%, which means even if your account earns $15 on $1,000, your buying power actually drops. This is what most people don't realize. Banks want you to feel secure while subtly losing money. Now, maybe you're thinking, Lucas, $15 is better than nothing. Sure, but the psychology is crazy. You see a tiny gain, feel smart, and leave more money in the account. Meanwhile, the bank is lending your money out at 8 to 12% interest to businesses collecting massive profits off your idle cash. Your money is basically a pawn in their game, and here's where it gets really interesting. Some accounts have hidden limits, like 6 withdrawals per month and fees for exceeding them. Most people don't track this, think it's just rules, and boom, $10, $15 here and there disappears. Over a year, that's $120 to $180 just for following their so-called safe system. Let's do some quick math. You deposit $5,000 in savings at 1.5% APY. You earn $75 over a year, but inflation eats $150 to $200 off that same $5,000 in buying power. Add 2 extra fees at $15 each, and you're looking at a net loss of $105, and that's assuming you didn't overdraft or pay extra bank fees somewhere else. This is what most people don't realize. Your money isn't safe. It's being quietly devalued while you think you're winning. Now maybe you're thinking, Lucas, should I just keep cash at home? Not really. Safety matters. The key is understanding how banks manipulate perception and interest psychology. Step 1. Use savings accounts strategically, not emotionally. Step 2. Prioritize high-yield accounts that actually beat inflation. Step 3. Automate transfers to investments where money can grow instead of stagnating. Step 4. Always track hidden fees and withdrawal limits. This is where most people get it twisted. They think safe means growing. Banks rely on this assumption to hold on to your money and quietly profit. Once you see it, you stop letting them use your cash as leverage. And here's the motivational truth. Money sitting in low-yield accounts isn't neutral. It's losing value. Every smart move to allocate cash properly is a win against the system. Control your savings, understand the psychology, and you start using your money to build real wealth, not feed the bank's empire. All right, we're finally at the last part. And this one is huge, how to flip the script and actually make banks work for you instead of against you. You've seen how they quietly take your money, manipulate psychology, and exploit human habits. Now it's time to take control. Here's the thing. Most people don't get. Banks make their money off your mistakes, yes, but that also means your money can work for you if you stop making mistakes. The first step, track everything. You need to know exactly what's coming in, what's going out, and which fees or interest rates are quietly draining your wallet. Knowledge is power. Step 2, automate like a boss. Bills, savings, debt payments, set it and forget it. This isn't just convenience, it's psychology. When you automate, you remove the chance to slip up or make impulsive financial decisions. Even $50 extra toward debt or savings monthly compounds over time like crazy. Step 3, optimize your accounts, high interest checking, high yield savings, cashback credit cards, but only if you actually pay balances in full. Mix and match strategically, don't chase flashy offers blindly. Remember, banks design these offers to make you feel smart while they profit. You want to beat them at their own game. Step 4, invest in yourself and your money. A savings account earning 1 to 2% isn't going to cut it anymore. Stocks, ETFs, index funds, or even retirement accounts with tax advantages. Put your money where it grows faster than inflation. That's how you finally get ahead instead of treading water. Step 5. Mind the psychology traps. FOMO from rewards, fear of missing minimum payments, stress over fees. Banks count on it. Recognize your impulses, pause, and make conscious choices. This is what most people don't realize. Beating the system isn't about luck, it's about mastering habits and mental frameworks. Let's do a quick mental exercise. Imagine you save $500 a month and invest it at an average 7% annual return. Over 10 years, that's over $80,000. Now imagine if you were letting banks quietly drain $200 to $300 a month instead. You'd literally be giving away tens of thousands of dollars for free. That's why awareness matters. And here's the motivational truth. Every small tweak, avoiding fees, paying extra on debt, investing smart, adds up. You're not just reclaiming money, you're reclaiming freedom, control, and peace of mind. This is where it gets really interesting. The system only works if you let it, and now you're starting to fight back. So remember, track, automate, optimize, invest, and master your psychology. Do this consistently, and your money finally works for you, not the bank. The mistakes you avoid today are the wealth you build tomorrow. Banks may be designed to make you broke, but with knowledge, strategy, and discipline, you flip the script entirely. This is your financial wake-up call. Stop feeding the system, take control of your money, and start building real wealth. Because when you stop making mistakes, the banks stop winning, and you start winning.